Hello, everybody. This is Revan here, and it's that time of year where it is E3 season. And what does everybody like to do with E3? Well, everybody typically likes to get their own opinions out there, predictions, expectations for E3. So, it's E3 2017, and we're going to start this week off with a prediction slash expectations video of the Microsoft press conference for 2017. Now, I'm not a Microsoft guy. I'm not an Xbox guy, so I don't really have any out there predictions for Microsoft. In fact, they've been very quiet this year. They went ahead and canceled Scalebound, which was going to be one of their big titles for this year, I'm sure. But they went ahead and decided to cancel that, and so they're kind of unpredictable right now. It's very strange, but there's some things we can definitely talk about here. So for starters, they will most definitely announce and talk a lot about the Scorpio. We'll get an official name for it, release date, and probably all the demos that they have, like all the playable demos for the presser that people will play to show games off. I'm sure they're gonna mention that this is all gonna be played on the Scorpio, and they'll talk about what it does graphically and for resolution, like Sony did with the PlayStation 4 Pro at their little mini conference, except this is going to be at E3, so they're going to spend a lot of time on it. They'll probably have a marquee title to highlight those differences between a regular Xbox One and the Scorpio. I don't know what title that might be. It could be Crackdown 3. It could also be something like the next Forza. So if it's the next Forza, they'll use, Scorpio time frame to talk about it. Once all the Scorpio talk is done, then they'll move on to the games. Again, I have to state here that none of this stuff is in any order. I'm not predicting the order of these things. Just a general idea, overview, outline of what they might talk about and everything like that. So, given that they canceled Scalebound, they need to announce a new game or a new IP or something that replaces that game, because otherwise, they're gonna be shortchanged a game. So, yeah, that's gonna be a thing that will probably happen, I'm guessing. But they'll probably talk about existing games first. So if Crackdown 3 is not the marquee title they use to show off the Scorpio, then Crackdown 3 will be shown again, and there will be actual gameplay this time, I'm predicting, and story. They'll probably try to show off a bit of the story and gameplay. And by gameplay, it'll probably be a demo. They'll probably do a playable demo, have someone on stage playing it. And it will get a release date for this year. Guaranteed. That has to happen. This game has been at 3 E3s now. It will be its third E3, because it was announced in E3 2014. Remember that. So, then after probably, then we'll probably see, like, again, this isn't any particular order. They can do this in any order they want. We'll probably see Sea of Thieves once again. I'm predicting, because this game is a rare game, they're going to only give us a release window. What does release window mean? Well, that means, like, holiday 2017. That could be a release month of, like, November 2017. But they're going to nail it down to a year, at least, and a quarter. So it's either going to be holiday 2017 or it's going to be fall 2017. They'll get more obscure with it. It doesn't strike me as that kind of holiday game, but maybe what they show off will convince everybody that it is that must-have holiday season title. If they don't talk about Forza for Scorpio, then they'll talk about Forza amongst the games they need to, like, existing games or existing IPs they need to talk about. So Forza, the next Forza title will be shown. And it's Forza. It's a racing game. I have nothing else to really say about it. It'll probably get a release date for this year, like they always do. They're always announced at E3 and then release that same year. And then, of course, Halo of some kind will be talked about. I know they mentioned they're not going to talk about Halo 6, or if they do, they're not going to talk much about it at all. They're not going to have anything to show for it. But Halo of some kind has to be talked about. So whether that's, hey, just saying, hey, Halo 6 exists, then okay, that counts. Or if that's like, oh, hey, we're fixing the Master Chief Collection now. Like, oh, okay, that counts too. That kind of thing. Or like, oh, we're releasing Master Chief Collection for PC. That would count too. I'm also predicting that Gears in any form will not be here this year because they just released Gears 4 last year, and if they announce Gears, another Gears, I guarantee you they will get groans from a lot of people because they just had a ton of Gears last year. They had that Ultimate Edition release of the first game, and then Gears 4 last year. So that series deserves a year break at least from being at E3. Now, given the recent teaser at Combo Breaker 2017 for Killer Instinct, it's very likely a Season 4 is probably going to be announced for that game. There's no reason why just one new character would be all that game would get if they're teasing a character. Anytime they tease a new character, generally speaking, that hints at like a Season 4. So there's probably going to be a Season 4 for Killer Instinct. That's probably what will be announced here. And if not, then I'll be surprised. Indies in some form will definitely be here. I'm sure it's going to be another montage, and I'm sure we're going to see Cuphead once again. Cuphead will get majority of the montage highlight, if not its own segment in the press conference. And, you know, it's up in the air if we'll get a release date for that thing. I think it's been at, what, 3 E3s now? 4, maybe? It's been quite a while. We've seen that game a lot. Honestly, it's hard to say. It looks like it's a very well-animated game. It's going to definitely wow some people in terms of the animation and all that stuff. So we'll see. There might even be some other indie titles they'll highlight, like last year where they did We Happy Few and stuff like that. But that seemed to that game seemed to just come and go. Nobody really cared about it after that initial, once they discovered it was like a roguelike or something like that, I think, or some weird genre. It didn't appear to be the type of game that they were showing it off as at E3 last year. I don't know. And then finally, just these last 2 points here. Some third parties will come up on stage like usual. So you might have Ubisoft come up there. You might have maybe EA come up there for something. They could do I don't know, Battlefield over there. They could do an Assassin's Creed thing again. I mean, there is that new Assassin's Creed game that got leaked, so maybe that will be at the Microsoft press conference for whatever reason. Maybe they'll use that as their moment to announce that game and talk about it at length. And yeah, I don't really know what other third parties could possibly come up on stage at that point. I think it's just going to be very cut and dry. It's going to be a lot of Scorpio discussion, lots of... Oh, they'll probably have a HoloLens thing at some point. They'll probably have some kind of VR thing at some point. Maybe that will be one of the third-party things. Will be a whole, oh, okay, we got VR here. Here's a VR game. They'll probably do that. That'll probably be some filler, because just like the HoloLens last year. And then... what else? Oh, and then they'll probably close with some new titles, new IPs, something. I don't know, because they need something. They need a game to replace Scalebound, and they probably should have that game ready by now to show off. Otherwise, why would they have canceled Scalebound? They need something to fill that space. Otherwise, all they've got this year is Forza, Sea of Thieves, and Crackdown 3. Which, that's not a really great lineup for this year. I mean, that's very scarce. They're going to have to, spread that out and leave a lot of space between them. So that would be very interesting to see how all that plays out. But yeah, that's all I pretty much expect from Microsoft's press conference this year. It's going to be a lot of Scorpio discussion, probably lots of VR, maybe some HoloLens again, and a lot of game focus, I'm sure, but the games may not be that appealing. They may not be that exciting. They might be exciting for Xbox fans, Microsoft fans, but for me, personally, they haven't excited me a single bit at every press conference they've had for the Xbox One. So yeah, that's going to be it for me for this one. What do you guys think? What do you guys think Microsoft will have this year? What do you think they're going to show? What are your predictions, expectations, all that jazz? I'm curious and interested to know. Just comment down below, and hopefully, maybe they'll surprise people. They are a bit of a wild card, kind of unpredictable right now because I haven't been doing much talking. But that's going to do it for me here. If you, like this video, then subscribe, because there's going to be 2 other E3 2017 prediction videos coming this week, and you can look forward to seeing them. And until then, see you later. Peace.